We are here with Middlebury College, who just won the NCAA National Championship for the third consecutive season. Congratulations. On the podium, head coach Catherine DiLorenzo. We have senior Marissa Baker, junior Aaron Nicholas, and senior Allison Denby. Again, congratulations on an excellent game today, an excellent season. Before we open it up for questions, Coach, your thoughts on today's contest?
Thank you. A little overwhelming, actually, the way you described sort of the enormity of the last couple of years, but I think one of the reasons why we're able to sit here is because we don't, we never really reflected on it that way, maybe until now. As I just stood with our juniors and spoke to them about, sort of, are you ready for this next year? To lead a team through the kind of growth that these seniors and Aaron as a junior have done. It's not unique in our program, and it's not unique really in sports to have this kind of growth be necessary every single year. That's what I reflect on so much, is where have we come from in 3 months? The youth, the new leadership that all comes together, it just creates it's one big pot and a lot of new ingredients, and just so very proud of the purpose that this team has recognized was important to them all season, and how much ownership they've taken over the quality of play and putting it together, and learning how to measure quality hockey themselves.
Allison, we'll start with you. 3 straight national championships on your way out, and I know the Middlebury mindset isn't to look to the past or look to the future. It's one day at a time, one practice at a time, one play at a time, and every year is different, every team is different. But what does that mean to you to go out with 3 national championships in your final 3 seasons?
It feels incredible. As you said, and as Coach mentioned, we definitely are never a team to reflect back, or even throughout this whole season, we were never even saying like, oh, let's win another national championship. And it wasn't even until we got to the NCAA tournament we were like, all right, guys, the end goal is another trophy. But it is such a rewarding and gratifying feeling every single year to just know how much work and effort goes into every single practice and every single scout and our 7 a.m. DPC meetings. And there's so much work that like you guys haven't even been able to see yet with our bench, and how incredible every single one of them are and is, and how integral everyone was to this success. So I would say it feels amazing, and it was definitely, there's a lot of hard work and effort that went into it. So I'm incredibly proud of every single one of us on the team.
Marissa, she talked about the hard work that goes into this. Let's go all the way back to August, when you first came together in preseason. And it's a new team, it's a new group. You're fresh off of 2 national championships, but you don't know what the future is going to hold. What's different about this team today than back then in August when you first came together for your first practice?
Absolutely. I mean, we can even back that up to June when we get our summer packet. Every single day we have a workout, and we know that every single girl, no matter where they are in the country, is putting in the work to get ready for a season. So come August, we're in great conditioning shape. And then from there on out, it's just all about connecting with each other on the field and passing and learning how to play with each other. And I mean, I think that's the big difference between a postseason team and an August team, is that you know where each other on the field without even looking.
Aaron, you're a junior. 3 straight national championships. This is not normal for a normal collegiate student athlete, just so you know, but congratulations. What does having experience in those types of situations, close games in the national tournament, the national championship game, how did that play a factor today for the success of the Middlebury Panthers?
I'd say before this year, these past 2 years, you know what it's like to win a national championship, and that's always, it's an unspoken goal that we strive for every season, and just to know that feeling of hugging your teammates and knowing that you reached the last possible game, the last possible accomplishment as a team. That is such a big motivation. Obviously, every athlete wants to be in our position. So that coming into season is something that you always strive for, but it's a new team every single year, as we were saying before, and we take things day by day. We learn every little detail, every little thing comes into this last game. So it's really just something to strive for, but not something that we think about on the daily. We just take things practice by practice, game by game, and in the end, it worked out. It worked out for us.
Coach, this is a little bit of deja vu, right? I believe you were sitting in the same chair last year at this same time. Aaron was sitting in the same chair up on the podium. It seems like yesterday that
Grace was sitting right there.
Grace was sitting there to your left. So
Ego was sitting right there.
Exactly. So you remember it. You remember it very well, obviously, and this is. It's no secret that you have strong attention to detail, and you guys. This program is methodical about everything that they do. When you're talking to a team before a national championship game and you give those final words before the team heads out to the field, whether it's in the locker room or you're out on the field, how much of that is scripted and how much of that just comes from the heart in the moment for you?
That's actually a really good question, because I think the answer would be surprising to most people who hear it. All of it comes from the heart, but it probably doesn't sound like it's not emotional talk before the game. What we really have learned through success and failure. I've had a lot of more failure actually than these three people have in my own career. You learn through failure that sometimes taking the emotion out of it prior to a competitive event is the best thing to do. And what we've talked about, honestly, is very similar game to game. We talk about the importance of returning our attention to the first touch we have every time we catch it, because that really determines the quality of your vision on the field. So that's not very exciting, but my job is really to help each of these players return their focus to the couple of things that actually free them up to play in a manner where they can be at their best physically. If we feel like we have a dominant lineup, then the way that can really come to life is that if their first touch is great, their passes have great ball speed and are on target, and they know where their teammates are. So that's honestly what we talk about before every game, and today was no different.
Allison, I do want to talk about some of the details of the game today. Superb defensive effort once again, all weekend long from the entire team, but especially the defensive backs there. You held F&M to just 4 shots today. You held Salisbury to just 4 shots yesterday, so 8 combined total shots on the weekend against 2 elite opponents in the Final Four. F&M was only outshot twice this entire season. One of those was today. What does that say about the defense, and how has this defense been able to be so successful?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that I know that the key to our defensive success is that it's every single player on the field that's playing defense. And so I was watching yesterday's game, I was rewatching that and listening to the commentators talk, and so they were saying that they were watching our forward line press, and they were all just shocked with how much effort every single one of them was putting into every single press. We had like Katie George diving across the field, and all of them do it. You can see every single one of them emulate a really fantastic defensive stance, and then that just starts. So it's at the top, starts at the forwards. The middies do it too, and then the defense do it. So I would say the defensive unit definitely had a great weekend, and that's only because everyone on the field had a great weekend defensively. It started at the top, and it made our jobs a lot easier. It's okay.
Full defensive effort today, but you do need to score goals to win games, right, Marissa? So take me through that goal. Your teammate Isabel Chandler slides the ball back to you in the circle. You're at the top of the circle. You lifted the ball over the goalie, but you were spinning around at the same time. How did you know where you were on the field, and can you describe that goal for me from your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So I saw Isabel Chandler taking the ball with the left side, and I know that as a right side player, it's my job just to hold that right side to make sure that any ball that she slips across has the opportunity to take a shot on. And she ended up making a really nice crossing pass. I didn't have a defender on me right away that gave me time to line up for a shot. And once I took that shot, actually redirected off a defender's stick. And that redirect, I think, allowed it to go into one of the corners and ultimately become a goal.
Erin, you had a lot of opportunities today as well, several shots that were saved and just wide. When you're playing against another strong opponent that's so good defensively as well, and you have a lot of opportunities, especially early on in the game, that first half of that first quarter, you guys had it down there and were really attacking. How difficult is it to stay patient in those moments and know that other opportunities are going to come?
Well, first, F&M was a phenomenal opponent. They really had great defense, which made it, not, as you were saying, not easy to get down there and score a goal. But one of the things I try to focus on is just remaining calm. I had a few opportunities that they had great defensive stops on and a few shots that went wide. But I just kind of set up the press again, forget that happened, move on, and remain calm. Our theme for this year is Eye of the Storm, and it really just emphasizes that it's, no matter what's happening, we all want to do our roles, think of the little things, and stay as a unit. So my main goal, as I said, after I shoot the ball, is just to get back on defense, win the ball back, and get a second shot.
Coach, your team has played in 11 one-goal games this season, 10-1 in those contests. How did playing in so many close games throughout the year help you throughout this weekend with 2 1-0 victories in the semifinals and the championship game?
Well, fortunately, we play a really strong schedule, so I didn't realize we played in that many one-goal games. But I think each of our games feels that way anyway. And another part of, my way is really to always be coaching as though the score doesn't exist, and so that no matter what quarter it is or quarter break and we're huddling up for 2 minutes and talking, whether the score is 5-0 or 1-0, or tied, we're really looking to make whatever changes we need to make to score goals and do whatever we need to do to not allow any shots on goal. And I think the consistency of our approach in a huddle, that the intensity level is there no matter the score, helps with that a little bit. There's no real ebb and flow in, we get into the huddle and it's what more can we do, no matter what the score is. So I do think that helps a lot. It certainly helps a lot that about midway through the season, we were down for the first time, and then we were down a couple of times the rest of the way, and I think the team truly understands that 60 minutes is a lot of time, and we've been able to come from behind to score goals because we see the challenge is the clock, not to overcome a certain deficit necessarily. So yeah, I think the team is focused on scoring goals no matter what the score is, and they're comfortable in that situation.
Allison, Marissa scores in the 54th minute, but there's still a little over 6 minutes to play. What do you tell your defensive teammates or the entire team? What are you talking about in those final 6 minutes to ensure that Franklin Marshall doesn't tie the game up?
Yeah, absolutely. What we said is it's not over yet. F&M was a fantastic opponent, and as was Salisbury yesterday, and we went up 1-0 and absolutely still lights out defense. You got to be laying every single block tackle, keeping your engaging distance, and really relying and staying true to all of your fundamental skills. And so that's what we focus on. We go up and we're like, all right, but we really still got to lock this down defensively because there's a very good chance that they're going to turn around and get another scoring opportunity. And so in those moments we say, as Erin mentioned earlier, our team motto for the year was Eye of the Storm. So among all the chaos, just keep it simple, rely on your fundamentals, and know that like they're really gonna bring it to us, and they did. Both teams definitely did. In the fourth quarter, where it was a grind defensively, but they were both good contests. And
Sticking on that same topic, F&M only had 3 or 4 penalty corners today, but it seemed like every opportunity that they had within the penalty corners, even though you're outnumbered in those situations, it seemed like there was a wall of Middlebury defenders in front of any shot opportunity they had. Can you describe how you're able to do that even though you're outnumbered in that type of situation?
Yeah, right. Lots of practice, I would say. We watch a lot of their corners. We know generally what the other team's plan is coming into it, and we've practiced it countless times, gone over the plan. And yeah, I'm glad you said it looked like a wall. It's very nice.
Coach, does the formation or strategy change at all in those final 6 minutes after you've taken a 1-0 lead, or is it continue to do what's been working for you for the previous 54 minutes?
Well, that's a really great question too. You know, we dropped Aaron Nicholas a little bit deeper. We don't get a timeout, so it took a little bit of loud voicing from the sidelines, but dropping her into the middle, you know, when we're in our defensive end of the field. But I really am so proud of the team for understanding that continuing to play offense is really what, you know, put the lid on that game today. Continuing to attack right through the middle when the game, you know, everything was at stake. Continuing to be able to feed that ball up through the middle lane of the field and get into the circle a few more times. You know, that's a real sign that a team understands the spaces on the field and, you know, what's going to break the back of an opponent who's, you know, knocking on the door a little bit. You know, so very, very proud of them for that.
Marissa, a huge crowd out there today. It might have felt like a road game. I don't know. Franklin Marshall, obviously close by, had a lot of fans, but 843 was the announced attendance. That's an amazing crowd for a national championship game. Can you talk about the atmosphere out there and how special it was to have such a huge crowd for this penultimate game?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely the biggest crowd we've ever played in front of. Yeah, it was definitely a little more Franklin Marshall people out there, but it was just, I could still hear the Middlebury sideline loud and clear, and I give so much applause to the girls on our bench. They have the best energy, and if you're just like feeling a little tired out there, they just like come out there like, you got this. So our sideline, our parents, they're just on either sides of the field, and they just give you so much energy when you're out in the field, and we owe so much to them, so they're awesome.
Aaron, I have to bring this up. I brought it up during yesterday's press conference when you weren't here, but a great storyline. You're playing against your sister's team for the second time in the last 3 years in the Final Four and now the national championship game. How much will you rub this one into her in the coming days? No, I'm just kidding. What will you guys talk about and remember about this weekend, being able to be here together?
Yeah. Well, I would not be sitting in this chair right now if it weren't for my sister. She's been an incredible role model for me my entire life. I train with her all summer. We always are working together to be the best we can be for our own team. So to be able to reach this goal together and to reach the last possible game of each of our seasons together and share this experience with one another is, like, I'm speechless talking about it. It's something that will never be forgotten. It's something that my family will never forget. And it's an incredible opportunity. I'm so glad that I got to spend it with her.
Marissa, when you're playing in a national championship game, are you thinking about the fact that you're in a national championship game, or what are you thinking about?
No, absolutely not. Actually, I was talking to my dad before the game. He was just like, full speed, have fun. Don't overthink it. I was like, no worries. We've played a lot of these games before, as in just like we played a lot of field hockey games. So when you're out there, you're just thinking about the pass you're catching, the pass you're about to send, and it really just comes down to you're just playing the game that you've played before and you know what to do. So absolutely not thinking about the national championship, just thinking you have to win the game like any other game.
Allison, can you describe your emotions at the end of the game when the final horn sounded and you guys all ran out onto the field and hugged each other by your goal? What was that like for you?
That was just a fantastic feeling. There was, there was a minute left and it was looking really good. F&M was definitely still taking it to us and giving us a run for our money. But it was like it was sort of starting to build and I was just getting so excited. I could feel the butterflies in my stomach. And finally I look at the clock and there's 5 seconds left and I just couldn't stop myself. I started running towards our goalie, G. Sorry, preemptive run. But it was, I just felt elated and so proud of every single person on this team. And as I was talking about earlier, like everyone worked so hard for this and so for it to come to fruition. And that was sort of the moment. I agree with Marissa, you don't sit here and think, oh, this is another national championship game. It's just another game. But when there's 5 seconds left on the clock, you're like, oh my God, this is it. So it was just fantastic. It's an amazing feeling. Yeah.
Coach, we'll wrap it up with this. Your third straight national championship. You've now become just the third program in NCAA history to win 5 or more NCAA titles. And you're also only the second program in NCAA history to win 3 straight championships. I know you don't like to look at things in streaks or things like that, but certainly so impressive. What is it about the culture, the formula that you've put together for this program that has made it so successful and looks primed to continue success in future years?
Surround yourself with great people. Really capable people, people who aspire to spend their time wisely working at a common goal, people who enjoy having fun, people who love listening to music, but surrounding yourself with good people. If that's not the best, steps 1 through 10 or 1 through 24, we have 24 people on our team. It always starts and it always ends with the people. And once you get or have assembled a group of people that have such capacity for growth and relationships and vision and goals, then getting to work is a buzz. It's really pretty incredible. It's a little bit addicting, quite frankly. I'll have a sigh of relief that I won't have to stay up until 3 a.m. watching film or putting it, but then, at midnight tonight, I'm gonna, think about, okay, who's graduating from F&M and, start to put lineups together and things like that. So it really is the people and people who are so together in how they like to spend their time and what heights they'd like to reach. Then getting to work is really more enjoyable than I think most people outside of it can even appreciate. It really is a buzz, and then our job as coaches is to figure out as much as we can all the different ways to spend our time wisely so that we can become good. And I'm grateful to all of these guys for being so on board with whatever we come up with for them to do.
I lied. I'm going to throw in one more question for you. Your 19th season at Middlebury. This is our second straight year hosting you here at Spooky Nook Sports with the Centennial Conference and the MAC and Discover Lancaster, and we've really enjoyed it having Middlebury here back-to-back years. It's been excellent. The level of hockey from all 8 teams that have been here over the last 2 years is exceptional. What have you seen over the last 19 years in your time at Middlebury in terms of the growth of Division III field hockey and how the level of play has really skyrocketed and where it's at right now and where it's headed?
Yeah. You're always such a great interviewer. The growth, I'm sure all the NCAA coaches in the room would readily jump on board with this thought. The level of play, it's just leaps and bounds. We take leaps every year. And that's due to many, many different reasons. Part of it, we like to believe, is the example set by the teams that are setting the tone and performing at the highest level at the time is setting the tone and setting a bar high. And then once you set a certain standard, then people are working hard to reach that. They have an example to follow. I love to believe that we've played at least a small part in, an even more rapid growth in Division III hockey. It seems as though that's what's happening, but it's also happening in everybody's mind's eye. We have, even outside, of course, outside of Division III, we have, so much great example to follow. We're able to follow hockey more now than we used to be, just because of, the digital age. We're able to watch more. And back in the day when I first started coaching, there was no digital video, and the only time you could ever see a field hockey game was if you were at one. Now we have every Saturday we have 150 games we can access that have just been played that day. We can break them down if we want to. So we're expediting the process of the growth of the game. I don't see, when I watch, this is just my own observation, so I'm not certain that I'm right, but when I watch our Division I counterparts playing, and then I look at the games that we're all playing in Division III, I'm seeing far more similarities now than differences, especially when we're playing on the AstroTurf. And for that, I'm really proud that we've all been able to really stay the course and push and find athletes who want to be in a Division III atmosphere, but playing this way. Really proud of that.
Thank you so much, Coach. Middlebury College, the 2019 national champions. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.